Welcome to another episode of StateSideReds. Manchester United 2, Lyon 2. 𝙈𝙊𝙍𝙀, Onana, stay the fuck in France because you are a clown. Class A fucking clown. Do you know what? If he was here when the new stadium was built, he'd fit right a fucking home with that stadium looking like a damn fucking clown show. Stay the fuck in France. I am fired up on this motherfucker. Was it 18 points he's given up this season for Manchester United? Cost us the worst position in Champions League history last year. I just had enough of this idiot. For me, it's done. It is time for 𝙈𝙊𝙍𝙀 to start in goal for the rest of the season. If 𝙈𝙊𝙍𝙀 is not the man, at least we can figure out whether we need to go for a number 1 in the summer. That's with me. Casey, I'm going to kick it over. I know you got something to say regarding the one of our nice sponsors.
Yeah, tonight's StateSideReds show is brought to you by 𝗕𝗏𝙍𝙀 and 𝗕𝗏𝙍𝙀. And if you have fraud like a goalie, you can go to them and they'll deal with that. They also deal with personal injury, wrongful loss, wrongful death, business stuff. Just don't kill anybody. They don't want to do with anything serious like that, but they can refer you to somebody. One of the finest law firms in Southern California with a 97% success rate. They even beat the federal government, got a law change, which just shows the power they have. 𝗕𝗏𝙍𝙀 and 𝗕𝗏𝙍𝙀 is a small law firm, but it feels like a big family, but they do big things, you know? They're small enough to know you by name. They have 7 investigators, like 18 paralegals, 5 in-house lawyers, but they do big things with a small firm. You can call them at 747-444-4444. Make sure you heard them on the StateSideReds show and the StateSideReds platform and the StateSideReds YouTube, all of that. And they'll take care of you. They work in many states, many countries. They speak Russian, Armenian, English, Espanol, Farsi. But I don't know. They speak it all. 𝗕𝗏𝙍𝙀 and 𝗕𝗏𝙍𝙀. Let's get back to today's show and begin the rant.
Yeah, I'm going to start with you here, Ronaldo. You've all heard my rant. What's your thought on it?
To be fair, on the balance of the day, maybe the right result. Both teams squandered a lot of chances, a lot of opportunities. I don't think we were particularly good in the first half. And, just compounded by that first mistake. We started off okay, and we gave them a lot of opportunities, and kind of the same thing happened in the second half. Sometimes, I've seen it in a few games, my point of contention, well, it's not I don't think we should change the system, but the fact that we have 3 center backs and we're affording teams so much space still, that is a little annoying. Like, why do we have the extra man in the box for? If guys could trap a ball, turn, and shoot at our suspect goalie, you know what I'm saying? That's not good. So that's one thing I hate about today's game. I didn't like the defense particular. They afforded too much space. They made tackles. I'll give them that. There were a lot of good tackles those guys put in today. But yeah, defense was not good. The attack was better, but we didn't have as many moments as in the second half. It was better than the first half. It was better than the second half attack was better than the first half attack. However, we didn't do much attacking because we were just giving Lyon all the space. So we didn't. I mean, in the few attacks, especially at the end, when once again, the captain took the game by a scruff of the neck with some quality ball, great cross right on the dime for 𝗕𝗍𝙀. And another thing with that, I think as much as I would like to see 𝗕𝗍𝙀 start, maybe that tandem because we have to see what 𝗕𝗊𝙍𝙀 could do. I don't think the bench is going to help 𝗕𝗊𝙍𝙀. He has to play. So, like, he gets 45, 50 minutes. If it's not effective, throw in 𝗕𝗍𝙀. And I think that's what Amorim's doing. He's A, trying to keep him playing so it could come to him, and B, we don't have that many options, just those two. And C, maybe 𝗕𝗍𝙀 is just better impact off the bench. when people are a little leggier and weaker, and he could just come in and bully people, get his touches in. It might work. That was supposed to be the difference today, and then Onana made it about himself again. I mean, no help from the defense. Once again, a lot of space at the wrong time. I guess you could throw in the midfield too, losing, not being as sanitary with the ball up top, turnovers and counterattacks, and with a bad day tracking those attackers today, Tricky and gang. They played good. They had a lot of opportunities. If that Guna reject wasn't such shite, Lacazette, he could have scored a hat trick today.
Oh yeah,
he could have easily had a hat trick today. We could have gotten beaten bad today if those guys took their chances. So
yeah.
2-2, as bad as it felt with those Onana errors, not the end of the world by any stretch. Second leg's gonna be fun because I feel like there's a lot of animus with it too. They know they could run at us, and well, we know what we gotta do. We gotta win. So I think second leg's gonna be fun. And Mr. Onana, maybe it's time to pack it up. A lot of us tried.
Instead of packing up, why don't you just stay?
It's not working. I mean, honestly, I didn't want to have to sell Onana this summer. We have other priorities, man. We gotta get a striker.
Mm-hmm.
We might definitely need to get center backs. We need a center mid, maybe a 10. Rather focus on those and worry about the keeper next year. Because I mean, as much as we want to see Bayandere out there, I don't think Ruben's got a lot of chances to play him. He's been hurt.
No, yeah, I agree with that. Like he has been hurt. He's pretty injury prone considering he doesn't really play much. Casey, what's your thoughts on the goalkeeper? I'm going to tie it into kind of one of the questions I had. Is number one the number one position we should be going for this summer over a striker? I mentioned it at the beginning. 18 points now he's given up. That's more detrimental than not scoring right now. That's a lot of goals that he's been laying in.
It's a shame that you would think that it would have to be a priority. I saw a stat also saying that coming into this game, he had 8 arrows that led to goals. Now he has 10, which is surpassed what David's Manchester United career was. He's just not a big game player. The big moment is obviously too much for him. As a fan base, we've all lost, and fans were allowed to feel this way. We've all lost confidence in him. He doesn't make us feel comfortable. We knew, going to the game, he brought attention to himself, and, that's a recipe for disaster, I felt. You don't want to say, yeah, fuck it. Yeah, a goalie's a priority, but we're not in the situation, right? This just makes our situation even worse.
Yeah.
Because we've all talked about, we need goals. Where are the goals going to come from? But for God's sakes, now we're saying, okay, we score goals, and then our goalie by himself makes 2 crucial mistakes. And I understand the second one, the defense could do better, but he has a bad habit of when he blocks the ball, he sets it up for a perfect assist.
Yeah.
For God's sakes, be
That's
in the
part of his
moment.
errors,
Understand the moment. Understand your team is fighting to win. Understand that your team just scored a goal in a late late time in the game and went up 2-1. Just lay on the ball, cradle it. I don't know. Just don't do that to your team.
Sorry to interrupt. They've missed the art of keeping that ball in the corner. You know what I mean? Back in the day where they would stand, put their arms like this and just stop the ball instead of a little flick. I saw it today. Maguire was yelling at them to just kick the ball out. He was just screaming at them, and then at one point, I don't know if you guys saw this, Onana screamed for the ball as the ball went back to Maguire, and Maguire just kicked the ball out. He just ran in front of Onana and then just got the ball and kicked it out. Because he did, we're talking about Harry Maguire, who is known for mistakes, right? He is known for mistakes at Manchester United. Great credit and mentality of not recently, no, I agree, but over his career at Man United, he's known for mistakes. For him to do that just goes to show how much he doesn't trust Onana. Because Onana was screaming for that ball. Going into, we got Newcastle Sunday, which is not going to be an easy game whatsoever. But we also know that whoever doesn't play in that game is more and more likely to start on Thursday because we know Thursday's more important. I think we do see Onana against Newcastle, and I believe that we will see 𝙈𝙊𝙍 against Lyon, because God forbid Onana goes in front of that Stretford end right now. I think the Stretford end is going to be just as bad for him than it would be for, than being in front of the Lyon fan. Mr. Green, what's your thought on that? We can't hear you. Yeah, we can't hear you. I think you got the headset on, so we can't hear you. I think you changed it mid. While you're fixing that, once you're just keep saying something until we can hear you while you're fixing things. Ronaldo, what's your kind of thoughts on that?
Arguably, if 𝙈𝙍𝙍 is 100%, I'll play him against Newcastle to get him a game before he even goes into Lyon.
True, totally agree.
Yeah. And I feel like we don't want to get carried away. I mean, he hasn't made like a disaster error in a while until today, but some of the goals we've conceded, of course, look bad because how he keeps, he's not quick enough to the ground, if you will, for a goalie, and that's part of his problem with just trying to save the ball like this and just parry it, like trap it almost. Yeah, banter with my high school guys, they call him a 7-a-side goalie, and that's exactly what he comes off like.
Yeah.
They play 7-a-side football, and you're the goalie. He, likes to play more with his feet, and he's just not the best diver.
Yeah.
But yeah, if 𝙈𝙍𝙍 could go, I would play him both days and just give Onana a little timeout, because back to the fact that he hasn't made like a disaster error in a while. It was just at a bad timing, and all the chat this week too, that just makes it look even. It just compounds it, and
yeah, you can't talk shit. You just can't.
Yeah, I won't call it talking shit, but he should have phrased it better, man. It's all well and good that you need to have confidence in your team and in yourself. And Ruben brought up a good point too. Is like, everybody could talk bad about Manchester United, why we can't vouch for ourselves, So part of me, I was like, he's saying, I think we're good enough to win. You don't say I think we're better than, but we have to, that's bulletin board material. So he just phrased it wrong, but the spirit was right. And of course, people run with it because it's Manchester United. People like to talk bad and like to see bad about Manchester United. So it just and being the player that he's made so many errors in the past too, he should have been real, coy and humble in the way he said that.
No, absolutely. Let me get some of the, I got some more to say, but let me get some of these comments out. Dan Taylor saying, can barely see the man in the bottom right. Yeah, we're fixing that. Thank God Onana talks shit. I'm assuming that you're joking there. Players just need to keep their mouth shut. I'm going to skip what Mikey said because I'll deal with that later. Just focus on winning. 𝙈𝙍𝙍 was solid in previous cup games, FA Cup or whatever, but can't be worse than the shit we witnessed today. 𝙈𝙍𝙍 had a bad Tottenham game. He did. But he was also colder than ice. Like, he hadn't played all season. I think that was his maybe second game all season. If there is VAR, that goal doesn't count. That one goes in from the corner. But let's not forget, Onana let exactly the same goal in the next game. It was straight from a corner from Cunha. What was it? It was Cunha from Wolves that scored that goal. In the exactly next game. So, Brian saying Onana is a League 2 guy in any country. Mikey saying good quality, Casey. Yeah, your camera's awesome quality today, Casey. Dan Taylor saying Festa from the Adams family.
That's not nice. That's not
Um,
nice.
and then
we don't like
I'll
that.
touch on this. Mikey saying, I'm still waiting to hear what Mason Mount did. I'll give you what Mason Mount did after we finish talking about, this bumper clock, what we call a goalkeeper. So,
Ah,
Cunha. I'm sorry, Meke or Mikey, whatever the fucking name is. It's like a certain big Man United channel today was calling Bayern der Binya. So, we get names wrong. It happens. Calm down a little bit there. Oh, Jesus. Going off on one. Cunha. So, yeah, for me, Casey, if he say he does play him against Lyon next week.
Play who?
Onana. Say he plays Onana against Lyon next week and he makes another mistake in front of the Stretford paddock.
That's on the
Stretford paddock, Stretford end. If he makes a mistake at Old Trafford in front of the Stretford end, it's got. I think, I think it's over for him anyway. But that is just that was a nail in. That would be a nail in the coffin. Do you honestly see Amorim allowing that to happen?
Well, if it does, I can't blame Onana for that because we've seen Onana do it before, several games. I'll definitely be a little bit upset with the boss. I understand that you want to be supportive to your number one goalie, but it can't come at the team's expense. You can't come at this Lyon match is going to be the biggest game of the year for us. This is the biggest game for our summer. It's going to be the biggest game for our transfer window. It's going to be the biggest game for a lot of things. So I agree with Ronaldo with saying I would play Bander against Newcastle to get him some form, get him ready for the Lyon match. I'm sorry. I'm not here to protect feelings. I'm here to protect the club.
Yeah.
If I'm thinking like the coach, like you got to be bigger than one player's ego or one player's confidence. Amber came after the game and said, "So this locker room was extremely quiet. Nobody was talking to each other." Do you think they're all thinking the same thing?
Yeah, did you see no one went? Like, the only person that went to Onana after the game was Bayern did. Nobody else went to, like, Bruno shook his head, turned away from Onana. Maguire shook his head on the bench. I think that was a bad substitution. I don't know why he brought Lindelof in. I thought Maguire staying, what was it, 5 minutes to go in the game and you bring Maguire off? Like, I think that was a bad substitution. I get Maguire's only just come back from injury, but if you're gonna do that with at least 15 minutes to go, rather than 5 minutes to go. Yeah. So, yeah, it looks like he may have lost the dressing room. They know exactly, Brian. Onana. I think Onana's lost the dressing room. But like Brian says, players know why we lost, and I think we had a decent. I think we had a decent showing today. I don't think we were terrible. They went 1-0 down. The team fought back. I don't think it was an amazing performance, but I also don't think it was a horrible performance. Mr. Green, you want to try and talk real quick? Oh no, we still can't hear. So yeah, for me, I think he's lost the dressing room. And once you lose the dressing room, just like a coach, there's no way back for you.
Well, I don't think he has, as a coach, has lost the dressing room yet. But if he continues to put Onana in situations where, because we're thinking that Onana's lost his teammates, possibly.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I'm saying Onana's lost the dressing. Not Amorim.
Yeah.
I think Onana's lost the dressing room as like confidence with him being in goal. That's what I was kind of getting.
I'm saying is if Amorim keeps putting Onana out there, and Onana keeps letting his teammates down, the coach could start to lose his dressing room because they're going to why you keep putting this guy out there?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So I'm not saying that's going to happen, but that could start the process of that happening. I don't want it to happen, but that's how critical this situation is right now with our goalie. This is nothing new. He knocked us out of the Champions League by himself. And I hate to put it all on him.
Yep.
Mr. Green has to go to the beginning of his settings and
Yeah. Mr. Green, I just said
Right.
in the chat, if you want to drop off and then come back in again with the headphone settings on, I'll just add you back in once you've reset it.
at the part where it says start.
Yeah, you gotta change the headphone setting. Let's talk about Garnacho and Rasmus. I'll get to certain other players after this. I don't know, Mikey. I don't know why you think we were awful. Like, I've seen some big Manchester United shows today because I always try and watch them and get some ideas for our show. Not necessarily deal, but like listen to their thought of things. The top 3 biggest shows out there for Manchester United all said that we didn't play awful today. So I'm not quite sure what game you were talking. Like, we did not play awful. The fact that we went to France and scored 2 goals, it's not an awful. That's a pretty good for me. Garnacho and Rasmus, horrible again. It's like goalkeeper, we got horrible. Striker, we got horrible. Do we continue to play this? Because you're talking about losing the dressing room with a goalie. We're continuing to play this horrible. Like, he is just gone. He's like a ghost in a pair of boots walking across the field right now. Ronaldo, what's your thoughts on Rasmus and Garnacho? Because they're both horrible.
We'll start Rasmus. At the end of the day, I think we might not the worst case, but we need to loan him out. I think he needs to get away a little bit. If we could sell him, once we're getting somebody way better, if we get a banger like Osimhen and stuff, that might make losing Haaland, not Haaland, sorry, Højlund, make it a little more palatable if we lose him. If we get an Osimhen type kind of center forward, because we do have Cheeto in the academy, so
yeah.
I mean, Cheeto could develop while Osimhen basically, scores a few goals in and retires at 30, or we sell him to Saudi at 30 years old or something, and Cheeto's in. But I think, like I said before earlier, I think the coach is keen to let Rasmus go out there. Because I feel like, as much as I would like to see Xerxes start, I feel like when Højlund comes into games, he doesn't have any effect either. Because we're not playing this kind of counter-attack running at people football. He's just kind of he's getting checked up today. Today he got bullied today.
Who's that, Rasmus?
Rasmus got bullied today.
Yeah.
My wife told me he got headlocked at one point in a corner. I missed that.
Yeah, there was a corner.
But those guys were shoulder checking him, easy peasy, and he's falling down. That was part of the horrible game with him. Besides that scuff chance in space.
Yeah, it was like John Cena. It was like, you can't see me. Like, the guy had him in a headlock and he was pushing him forward and he was just allowing it to happen. I'm like, what? Like, show some fight, show some passion. And
you can fight and lose. That's what the thing. I don't think fight is the problem with him. He's just losing.
Yeah,
that's worrying,
But like,
so I don't know.
I'll talk a little bit, like, just a real quick here. I'll get more into it later here, Mikey. But I'll talk about just the fraction of it. Mason Mount also got bullied on one thing. What did he do? He got up, pushed the guy, showed some freaking passion, showed some fight within himself. Yeah, okay, he got fouled, but that's showing the fans and like showing everyone that he cares and was like fighting for the team. Being in the corner and being pushed over and just getting up and just like walking around like nothing happened, it shows that your confidence is gone. And that it also resonates with the fans. It resonates with your teammates. It resonates with the manager. It resonates with anybody. Because when you're showing fight like that, it's showing that you really give a shit. And for me, when he got bullied like that, it was just, I don't care. I'm just walking around like I'm getting paid. I don't give a shit. It was just, Anthony shows more fight in him than Rasmus does right now. That's not about it. I'll get into it. There's not about what Mason Mount did. The hate from Mikey today on Mason Mount is like, it's like cheese level. It is pure hatred today for Mason Mount. It's unreal. Like, let's get back into the Garnacho and the Rasmus thing. Yeah. Let's just talk about the Mason Mount, the elephant in the room here with Mikey. I'm 90% sure, Mikey, I've got a pair of glasses here for you. I'll send them over. Mason Mount today. I thought he came on. I think he did a solid job in the 10 next to Mainu. I thought both of them changed the game in their own aspects. I thought he held the ball up well. I thought he passed the ball decently. His pressing was decent. Obviously, he's just coming back off a large injury, so his fitness isn't all the way there. But I think overall, he did more in 70 minutes than GARNACHO did in the entire game. Casey, what's your thought on Mason Mount today?
Well, what I liked about Mason and Kobe coming in the game, they were taking up natural positions where it just seemed like they were in the lines better. They were able to get the ball better. They were able to help each other, help teammates out. It's funny that when RASMUS and GARNACHO came off, we looked better. The game opened up for us. We looked more fluid as a team. I saw Mason Mount chase down the ball that I thought was going to go out of bounds. I didn't know he had that much pace. I saw that and I was scared. Maybe he's going to get hurt.
That? Did he keep that in and keep the ball in play?
He did keep
it
it
in.
in.
He did keep the ball in there, Mikey. He did chase that ball down.
He kept it in, and I was saying, okay, he's about to get hurt right now. But you know what?
Yeah, when he took that sprint, I thought the same thing. No, get hurt. No.
I think everybody in Manchester or over the world was thinking that.
I went into this game questioning why GARNACHO was starting again. I think GARNACHO's had 3 tough games for me, and I just think he'd be more suitable coming off the bench. But then Ambryn answered it by saying sometimes guys coming off the bench are more important than the guys who started.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So maybe that's why Kobe and Mount are the guys who are going to be coming off the bench. Maybe that's going to be for future reference. I don't know. But I was okay with it. Hey, we look better. The second half was a better game for us. So I can't be upset about or Kobe. Kobe had a crazy header to somebody to set up assist.
Yeah.
Can you guys hear me now?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Oh, real good.
Yeah,
Okay.
that header actually led to the second goal for Manchester United.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. Mikey saying kept the ball in bounds. The standards are so low, man. It's not. It's not the fact that he kept the ball
18
in.
minutes, man. You don't get that many opportunity. 18 minutes.
Yeah, and not only that, there was a couple of years ago, right? When Ronaldo was here with Cavani, right? The ball went into exactly the same area. Ronaldo stopped running, and Cavani went after the ball and got the ball back and almost set up a goal, right? It's the same thing Mason Mount did today. He went and got the ball. He didn't keep it in bounds. He got it from their defender when it was looking to go out. That's what it is. It's about getting the ball back. Yeah, I was happy to see Mainu play today. Mr. Green, we were talking about Mason Mount today. I think he had a decent game. Obviously, he's coming back off injury. The be-all of end-all of what he did. But to say he had a shit game today was just insane to me. What's your thoughts?
I actually, on Casey's show, said I would have started Mount instead of GARNACHO.
Yeah.
I think you have more. You have more of a diverse player. So watching today, GARNACHO to be a 10 is too one-dimensional.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. You need somebody in that number 10 who can play forwards, backwards, sideways, square balls, through balls. GARNACHO just doesn't have that in him. I think Mason Mount did well, right? Here's a guy who's had very minimal time. He's just getting back up to game speed. I agree with you. I love that fire in him, that little melee. I loved how everybody came to support him. It's showing signs that we're forming a team.
Yes.
Do you know what I mean? Like they are. I wanted to ask Casey something when my mic wasn't working.
Go ahead.
You played high level football, right? So when one of your teammates screwed up, and everybody knew he screwed up, would people say stuff in the dressing room?
Yes.
But definitely
that's a strong dressing room, though. You talk to each other. People. Yes.
Straight up.
Okay. Straight up. Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, it gets to a point where you get encouraging. You go, like, come on, man. You bounce back. And then if it continues, someone's gonna be like, motherfucker, what's going on with you, man? You need to get your shit together. People out here working hard. You know what I'm saying? For this to happen, we get the lead, and you chunking off opportunities. You chunking it. Come on now. And then the captain will go talk to the coach, like, Coach, the team has been talking, man. You might have to change his position on this, because guys ain't happy.
Yeah.
So yes, things like that happen. To answer your question.
Okay, because that I played high level, not anything collegiate or anything, but divisional soccer in big cities here in Vancouver and Victoria, and we call those goals like spirit killers. You know what I mean? Like just a square kick straight in the nuts. I feel like puking. Oh my God. So I just, because you saw it with Son and Hugo Lloris that one year, you know what I mean? It's all over YouTube where they're fighting each other and just losing it. You know what I mean? And I tell you, I'd have a hard time not expressing myself in that dressing room, because my buddy Bill, who's a keeper, says Onana doesn't do the simple things right. And that's one of the things that he always brings up is, why does he parry the ball onto an opposing team, right? And that's not that first goal. How many of those have we seen this year?
Did you see the first goal? I'm not sure if anyone's rewatched it. When the ball goes towards him, instead of putting his hands up and catching it, tries to hit it, to parry it away, and it bounces as he misjudges it. It goes past his hands.
It was just, I feel like it's just bad instincts. He completely misjudged the ball. I mean, I don't know if the guys, because there were two Leon guys that almost got the ball, which is another problem with the defense. Too wide open there. Two Leon players got a crack at that cross.
Yeah.
And
that was from a far way out.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, it was pacey, it was flighted, and that distracted him, and he missed it. He whiffed. That's what it was. And you got to be better than that.
Yeah, like, what I don't understand with with him, his lack of ability to come out and collect a ball is just not there. He won't come out and just jump and catch a ball. He can't catch, like, unless the ball, like the Lacazette one where they kicked it straight at him, like it was straight at him. I was worried that was going to go through his legs at that point because he went down to get it. It is. I know he faces a lot of shots and he saves a lot, but you're going to save a lot if you're shot out a lot. Those stats are going to be like. But for me, I honestly think he is bottom three goalkeepers in the Premier League. There's no one. I would rather go out and get the Brighton goalkeeper.
I watched Real Madrid versus Valencia on the weekend.
Yeah.
I think they should go after Valencia's goalie. He's a Georgian fella.
I think he's going to Liverpool already.
Is that right? 𝗕𝗓𝙍𝙀 or something like that?
𝗕𝗓𝙍𝙀.
Well, that's a strange one. Why would he go to Liverpool?
I think Alisson wants to go. Alisson wants to leave, I think, or they don't want to sign him long term.
Well, I know Alisson, but Liverpool's number 2 is better than Alisson, I think, right now.
Good.
I think he's a great goalkeeper.
Was it the
he already said last
PSG game? Alisson was mint that PSG game.
No, yeah, he was mint. I'm not. But every now and again, Onana's mint, right? you know what I mean. But for me, the Liverpool backup's a really good goalkeeper, and for me, he said last summer that if I don't become number 1, then he's out of contract. Yeah, so if the Liverpool gonna let him go, I'll go get him.
Some competition,
I teach.
Alisson's not the best in the Premier League.
I work with about 3 quarterbacks and about 6 receivers, and because Jerry Rice taught me in a camp, camp I was working with, he said 90% of drop balls because people blink eyes. So what I do with my kids is, the high school and college, the balls have stripes on it. So all day in practice, you catch it, you call what you see: stripes, solids, stripes, solids. If you drop it, if you don't call stripes and solids, you got to do 30 push-ups right there on the spot. Mm-hmm. But the thing is, you want to focus on the ball long enough to where you see the laces or the blank.
Yeah.
I think Onana's blinking his eyes. It just doesn't make sense. That first one was disgusting.
Oh,
I watched it over and over again. And I was like,
worse and worse and
things
worse.
like that. The second one, okay.
Yeah.
The first one had to kill everybody. Like, what? Bro.
After everything these last 2 days, yep. And you are not on it.
And that's the worst part.
Yes.
You were chatting shit before the match. And
Oh
you
boy,
allowed
Jesus
You are
here.
not
say,
on it.
Jesus
You're
here,
not on
boys.
you allowed Matic to call you the worst goalie in Manchester United history, and that's what you do.
Yeah, you prove it right.
Did you see his post, Matic's post
Yes, I
afterwards?
did.
Mhm.
Oh, he got
It's
on
on
that
my
real
Facebook.
quick. Cheese is saying, so y'all still think we're winning Europa and possibly
He's
meeting
such a
Spurs in the
jerk.
final?
Dude, we were supposed to win today.
Yeah.
Yes, I still think I think we win the
We were
Europa League.
supposed
It's
to-
going to be ugly, but I
You
still
think we were
think we
supposed
win
to?
it.
Yeah,
And
we up to.
Spurs, yeah, real quick there. And Spurs are not getting to the final. They were they barely beat Frankfurt today. Well, they didn't beat. They drew 1-1, but
True.
they've got to go to Germany and face Frankfurt. Like, I don't think they're getting past that.
Frankfurt's not an easy place to play in either.
Nope, it is not.
Yeah,
Like
no,
any
fourth.
German stadium is not easy to play in. So that crowd's going to be loud. So yeah, I still think we win the, Rangers. Athletic drew with Rangers today 0-0. So for me,
Rangers play with a man down for like 70 minutes too.
yeah,
Yeah.
they did. Who could we face in the semis? I still think Athletic nick Rangers because the second leg's going to be in Spain. But I think it will be. And let's not forget, guys. Right, the last round we drew in the first leg away from home, and we came and went home and won 4-1. I still think we win this. I still think we win it comfortably. I think we win 2-0. In the second leg, and I think we play Athletic in the final. That's going to be a tough game. But I still think we can win this final because, hey, we've beat Rangers already twice this season. No, once was a friendly, but we've beaten twice this season. Athletic struggled against 10 men. So.
Let's not forget that, for as long as home and aways, the two legs existed,
Mhm.
a tie away was always a desirable result.
Yeah.
So we can't be too hard on we could be hard on Onana because the draw is his fault. But you know what? That second goal, yeah, he parried it or whatever. But the two number 10s, they didn't come back. They left that guy open on top of the box to take that shot.
Yeah.
Two
Right?
free shots, two cracks
Right?
at it.
Exactly. So if we're gonna pick on Onana for the little things, like parrying the ball, then we should pick on I'm not excusing it whatsoever.
Yeah.
But there was also other people that didn't do their job.
Yeah.
So we'll give them 90% of the blame and then 10% on the other two. But
I'm going to give 99, but
yeah.
like you never really saw a lot of number 10. I know the game's different.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I just don't want to take away. I know we didn't play amazing today. I think we played decent, but I don't want to take away. I don't want to shift any blame on anybody else than the only. You're right though, Mr. Green. It was actually my next touching point. 2-2 is not a bad result away from home.
A good result.
Yeah, it's a good result. It's just a shame that I feel like we should have come away with with that 2-1. Coming away with 2-1 would have been a nice lead. It's comfortable. I think they've got to go score 2. I know, Mr. Green, you're more from my area with this. Do you miss the away goals? Because I do. I miss the away goal rule, man. I really do.
Yeah. It's the incentive to go out and score a goal away from home. And it was because people always played for that draw.
Yeah.
Right? But now you gave it more. I do miss the away goals. We'd be up a goal right now.
Yeah. We were technically 3-2 up right now. Yeah. If we
3-2 up right now. If it was still the, anything to increase the goal scoring in the game is absolutely awesome. But yeah, I do, Sean. I miss the away goals for sure.
Yeah.
I'm like 50-50 on it because there's some parts of the game too where you know the scenario and your team. You're gonna play pragmatically. You're not gonna put yourself out there to attack. in the first and second legs. So I like the idea is just score your goals. I think that incentivizes attacking football.
Yeah.
You just go out and score more than any other team. Simple as that.
Yeah, I think it
So,
makes the first game.
It was a good time, but I don't miss it.
Casey, do you remember?
I loved it.
Yeah, I did too.
I mean, I liked it, but I don't miss it.
I love that the pain that you gave away a home goal, and you're just like, oh God.
Yeah.
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 That was fun.
Right. Because if you lost 2-1 away from home, that goal was crucial.
Yeah.
Yeah. 1-0 at home.
Yeah. Yeah. I do miss it.
I'm not sure why they took it away, but I miss that kind of bad. But yeah, away 2-2 away from home. It's no different than the 1-1 we took away from in the last game in Spain.
Yeah.
I think we put our heads together. We go ahead. I'm gonna go 2-0 in the next United. But yeah, let's talk a little bit about it's Newcastle. We got Newcastle Sunday. Do you anyone agree that do you think Mason Mount should start this game, or do you think it's still a little early? Do you still think we should rest him and then keep him for 20 minutes? Because I will say that much as I do want him to start, I really do enjoy what Amrim's doing with him, because last season when he would get injured, Ten Hag would just rush him back and he'd get injured instantly. Like, he does look a little more fitter now. Like, that 20 minutes is basically a training session for him. You guys were right today when he was running after that ball. I was like, please no, please no. I thought he was going to pull up. But yeah, for me, I'm going to probably sit him on the bench and use him more as a starter next Thursday. Ronaldo, what's your thoughts?
Oh yeah, I'm fine. My thing is, first of all, ask the doctors what they think, because it's Mason Mount we're talking about, and maybe he's getting this late burning games because maybe that's all he could do right now. So, I mean, if that's not the case and he could start a game, I would start him against Newcastle. I mean, they're gonna run us ragged though. Those guys are chasing Champions League, and that is arguably the second or third best midfield in the country. Yeah, they got Tonali, especially with Tonali's playing. He's class. Tonali,
Guimaraes.
Bruno Guimaraes, and Jovington, or maybe Murphy. Then you got that annoying fuckface Aaron Gordon. I don't like his face, man. I don't like him. And the best striker in the line, probably Alexander Isak.
No, I agree with you, but does that not worry
Sunday's gonna be
you?
rough.
Starting him, if this team's gonna run as ragged, does that not worry you though? Like, he's gonna have to chase a lot, whereas against the French team, he's not gonna have to run so much. Casey, does that worry you? Starting him on Sunday against Newcastle.
If he doesn't start him, I'd like for him to get more time in the second half. I want him to get a better influence in the game. I would like to see it. I think he deserves it. I think the team deserves to see what he can do. Yeah, it worries me, but I heard someone say today, don't play your strongest team against Newcastle because Leon is that important.
Yeah.
But I want guys to be having form, fitness. I want team cohesion going into Leon. I want guys to know how they play with each other. So if you don't start them, don't wait till the 75th or the 70th minute to bring him on. Give him some good run in that second half. You don't have to start him.
Yeah, bring him on like the 65th.
Yeah, I understand because we all understand the concern with Mason Mount. So, but you don't have to start him. Coach said sometimes the most important guys are guys that are coming off the bench. So, but give him more time to get influence in the game so Mikey can see what he can do.
Yeah, I'm going to touch on real quick, Mikey. Are you sitting? Did Cheese get a hold of your account or something? Like, I'm 90% sure that Cheese has your account, because your comment, let him come on and show passion for 18 minutes. Yeah, that 18 minutes of passion showed more than RASMUS, Højlund, and Garnacho did in the last 6 months. So let's not forget that between them, they have 2 goals since November. Because they're showing a lot of passion. And then he also says, let him come on and get a yellow card in the first 10 minutes so y'all can call him decent. Yeah, I'm pretty sure Cheese either has your account or you didn't watch the game today, my man. Like, because all four of us and everybody else think he played decent. You're the only one that says he's not.
What's our other option other than Mount then, Mikey? I don't understand.
Yeah.
Who is it? I don't understand. What does he just want to play GARNACHO the whole game, or just start GARNACHO and play GARNACHO the whole time? I
Yeah.
don't understand.
Yeah, apparently, passion is not something to go in the or fight, or running after a ball that looks like it's lost and getting the ball back and keeping it in play. None of these things should happen, especially for a guy that's been out for 2 years.
One thing we can't um, diffuse about, we got to remember Mount's played in big games. Mount is one of our more experienced players. We need these guys right now. GARNACHO he doesn't have the tools Mount has, so we have to use him.
Mount's a more complete player, way more complete
We
player.
have to use him.
I would start him against Newcastle. I'd play him a full 45 in the first half.
Yeah.
Sub him off in the second half.
Mikey, we can only do 4 on this app, otherwise it just crashes. I can hear you, yeah.
Come like a heater in here, yo.
Yeah, did. As Cheese says, you've been drinking the wrong type of milk down in Georgia, and your commentary has been off since Tuesday's show. I did give you insight. We've given you plenty of insight of how he played well. No, I said that his passing was decent. I think doing the yeah. Okay, so he passed it. It's 5 times better than what GARNACHO did today. It's 5 times more than what. Casey, your phone turned around. I don't know, man. I don't know, but you do, man. Casey, your phone, turn it around. I don't know what you did. You turned your phone around. You're upside down right now.
I think Mikey flipped him.
Yeah, Mikey flipped him out. Yeah, Mikey's calling in. Could you guys hear? I don't know if you could hear Mikey on there. But yeah, RASMUS was terrible today. I don't know if you want to. Yeah, if you want to jump out and jump back in again, we'll get you. But yeah, it's just throw me off the show now. Yeah, I had thoughts.
I think GARNACHO is a good impact sub.
Yeah,
I like Mr. Green's plan about letting Mount start a game to see where he is, what his rhythm's like, if he's fit enough to do so, and then however the game's going, you could bring in GARNACHO late to make a difference against Newcastle, hopefully, and probably do the same thing next Thursday. Let Mount start the game. Let's try to hold possession.
Yeah,
and kind of keep attacking them for the. I think it's essential coming on the front foot next Thursday and like Mount.
Yeah. You can't like if you're on an app, you can't go onto another app that has a camera on it because it will just kick you right out. Yeah. Like on mine, I'm using my phone and a webcam behind. That's why I can use 2 different I think. But Newcastle's a tough game. They've had our number in the last couple of years, other than the Carabao Cup final. They look like they're doing things the right way. I don't understand how anyone seems to think they're going to get Isak off at Newcastle this year. Like, no team in the Premier League is going to be able to afford Isak this summer. I don't even think Man City could afford Isak this summer, because there's no way they're selling him for less than 100 million. So,
well, if they allow this shirt sponsorship deal to go through, where you could back yourself with as much money as you want, Newcastle won't be hurting for money.
Newcastle are the richest club in the world.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah.
But they can't behave like that because they don't bring in that much money.
No, I agree with you, but they're also going to be in. It looks like they'll probably be in the Champions League this year. I think they will make the top.
Yeah, they
five.
might.
Oh, they
If they
don't need
make-
to. They make top 5.
Might
So
be top 5. Yeah.
yeah, so they're
Top
going to get
5
a
this
ton
year.
of money from the Champions League. Isak's going to be in the Champions League. He
Yeah.
ain't going to Liverpool. I honestly think, I
this
know
summer.
Liverpool will win in the league this year, but I think after this year, Liverpool are on their way down. City are struggling. Like, they just spent 200 million. They're struggling. I don't. Arsenal, that looks like they're going to go for Gyökeres. And even if they did go for Isak, I don't think he'd leave Newcastle.
Well, it would have to be a personal choice for him to leave Newcastle. That's the only way we can see that happening. He has to want to leave. Newcastle is not hurting for money. They don't need for him to go.
They just doubled his salary too.
Yeah, they can just double. Let's say that's one thing they can do. They can double his salary.
No, they've done that. They've doubled his
Oh,
salary.
they did it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's not an idiot. So that's acceptance showing that, we want to keep you. But I think eventually, I mean, he could get money there. He's in the, arguably the best league in the world. But he might want to go to Liverpool. He might want to go Barca. He might want to go Madrid. He's that level of player.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the
I
problem.
just
The
don't
problem
see
with
him in the
Newcastle,
Premier
isn't
League.
it? Is people don't want to play in Newcastle. It's not a particularly
pretty-
It's
nice
not a big
place
team, and
to-
they got big money. But I mean, you could call them a big team in England. They got their titles. They haven't won one in a while, but they traditionally, good. Find
Well,
them
they've
and everything.
always been willing to to spend some cash, and you look back to the Shearer days.
Mhm.
They've been a top club, but the last
but-
5 years they've had lots of money. They've tried to sign lots of players, and players have just straight up said, "Nah, I'm not going to go to Newcastle."
I've got just a couple of comments. Mikey saying these guys love average players. Brian, should
Wait a
I
minute.
clip something up from like 2 weeks ago where Mikey was saying the opposite about Mason Mount? Because I have the video. Mikey, of you backing Mason Mount over Casey saying the opposite. So I have the video. I'll clip it and put it on fucking YouTube if you want.
Yeah, I was the one.
You were the
Going
one
at
saying
Mount.
he was shit, and Mikey was backing me.
Yeah.
So I don't know where you're going with this average player, my man, but
And I wasn't saying he was shit. I was
yeah.
he's not going to stay healthy. That was my biggest concern.
Yeah, I
He's
got
not
what
going to
you
stay
mean.
healthy. But is this his second game in a row?
Mhm.
I'm telling you, when I saw him run down that ball and keep it in bounce, and he didn't get hurt, I was like, we got a player.
There's always been a problem. I get the frustration with the Man United crowd, right? I get it. But
I still think
he's been injured for
Chelsea
so
can win.
long, but I still think there is a quality player in Mason Mount. And let's not forget how much Amram loves Mason Mount. He loves Mason Mount. These top like he's won the Champions League with some, and he's played under some big coaches at Chelsea. They loved him. There's a good player there, and I get the frustration though. I do. So if you want to clip it up, clip it up. I get the frustration. He's just been injured, and I really, really hope this is a redemption at the end of the season for him, and he just plays for the rest.
I think Casey said it when he came on, and Xerxes came on. It changed the game.
He did. I'm Mainu.
And Mainu. I got to say something about Mainu. Just come back from an injury. To set up that second goal, he was fearless. He risked, you know what I mean? To put in that challenge, to head the ball to Bruno Fernandes. Good on him.
Yeah.
He would have taken a clattering for the team, and I like to see it. That was fearless, and it was nice to see.
There's another player I want to talk about now. We're going to get away from the Mason Mount thing. I want to talk about, for me, the man of the match, Lenny Yoro.
Yeah,
I thought he was man of the match. Like, I loved what Bruno did, and I know he's not going to get over Bruno. Natural fact, did he get it? I think Lenny Yoro did he get the man of the match with a goal? Because for me, oh my God, we lose a lot more than we lose today without Lenny Yoro. I think we missed the lit, but I think Lenny Yoro really showed up today. Ronaldo, what was your thoughts? Do you think he was man of the match or?
tempted to say Bruno, but yeah, Euro is up there. He had a good game. It's just that collectively the defense and a little too much space than I liked. Defensively, I liked Ugarte's game, but he contributed nothing going forward.
Yeah,
He's not that kind of guy. I preferably like to see Mano play the 8, or maybe Bruno play the 8 and let Mano play a 10. But
Where
yeah,
did
we
Manu play today when he came on? Was it the 10?
I feel he is a little more advanced, because we were chasing a goal until he scored, so he was definitely a little more. He and Mount, they played close up to Xerxes. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's good for free.
Yeah.
Mr. Green, what's your thought on Lenny Euro today?
Fantastic. He was all over the place, right? There, not only did he score the header, which was unbelievable that he was, had the presence and the awareness just to know it was going wide.
Exactly.
Just give it a little nod, and it was in the net. But he was also taking defenders on, taking on the midfielders. There was that one where he did a nice 35, 40-yard carry, got the shot off. Yeah, it went wide, but I super impressed by him today. Actually, super impressed. He did it on both ends of the fields, and he did it for the entire game.
Yeah, I thought he was absolutely solid today. Brian, are you saying 100% for Euro? Man of the match, or were you responded to Mikey's where he said Manu direct impact? Manu was solid. I hope we see him for the rest of the season too, because I'd love to see him. Yeah, I think we did miss a little bit today. But yeah, Casey, what was your thoughts on Euro?
I think the more he plays and gets comfortable, he shows us more of his abilities. Him getting confident, we're seeing more of a attacking elements in him. We've always known he was very stable defensively. That he has good timing with his tackles, but now he's showing us progressing with the ball. He got a header and he took another shot. So he's showing that once he gets comfortable, he will try and score. And I think we got a player there. Man of the match, maybe. I just love what Bruno's doing, but I wouldn't be opposed to him getting man of the match.
Yeah.
At all.
Yeah, for me, I just think it's like I do like what Bruno's doing, and he did set up the goal. But for me, just the defensive actions of Euro, like you said, Mr. Green, the fact that he carries the ball, he does something that we've been missing since Martinez has been out. To get that ball, to progress it up the field as a defender, and we haven't seen that since Martinez went out. Martinez was that boy to just get the ball off of Ugarte. And I think Ugarte misses something like Martinez too, because Ugarte he's not a ball carrying CDM. He's the person that gets the ball back, likes to play it off, and he was working really well with Martinez a lot when he would get the ball and just pass it to Martinez. Martinez will move it forward. And now that Euro is becoming a lot better at that, he's kind of getting the ball, progressing it forward. I really like him over there on the left right now. Yeah, again, like I say, the lit was a big miss. I think he should be fine for next Thursday, hopefully. But yeah, then Euro is young as fuck still too. The best is yet to come from him. Yeah, absolutely. We've got 5 years with this guy. Another 4 more after this year. I'm really, really excited. And if we can get 3 or 4 players on the level of Lenny Euro like we did for next season, I think we're going to be in a good spot.
Dorgu played well today as well.
He did. The only thing I didn't like about Dorgu, you two probably saw this, was especially towards the end, he would slide in for a challenge and the player would just stop and Dorgu would go out of bounds and the player would just run into the near post. Ugarte was weird today. He's still but it's still kind of like he's still finding his footing in the team, right? He's not had a consistent guy next to him all season. It's been, a bunch of different people. So, until he finds, it's like the back in the day with Roy Keane and Paul Scholes. They played together so much that they kind of knew each other inside out. And I think once Ugarte gets a solid partner and an 8, I think he will be it will come a lot better. And once he has that ability to trust the person next to him or behind him to be able to lay the ball off, I think he'll be a lot better too. Any other than Garnacho and RASMUS, is there anybody today that you thought was kind of off of, like, I know Mikey said Ugarte, but Casey, anyone you thought was off today?
You know, I was so just moved by Onana. I thought, no, Onana, Rasmus, and GARNACHO were the three that stood out for me. I think everybody else was fine. I'm trying to think if anybody else stood out. No, Delo was Delo.
Yeah.
Nothing special, nothing bad. I thought Maz was okay. You know, I was just happy to see guys come on and run like Mainu, Mount. I was happy for Zersky, you know. But I think the people that stood out, I thought Rasmus missed a center. I don't think anybody talked about that.
What pissed me off more about that missed sitter from Rasmus was the fact that it was on his stronger foot. He's left-footed.
Yeah.
Like, I could understand a little bit if that come up was on his right foot, because this is his weaker foot. And anyone try to kicks a ball with their weak foot, it's not the greatest. But the fact that that was on his left foot, and it just horrible.
He looks just lost out there.
Like
he really does. Hoyland, he just looks lost. You know, poor guy. He finally made a diagonal run. I think it was about the 76th minute, and to the near post, and Ugarte throws it to the penalty spot. But you know, there's that one where he took on the defenders on the right hand side at the top of the box, and he tried to shoot through somebody's legs, and
yeah, and it was weak.
It was weak, and he was falling down. Everything you're taught as a kid not to do. You know, if you're off balance or whatever, stop. Don't be so. So I lost confidence, trying too hard. It's just a mixture of a lot of things, and man, I just I don't think you don't trust him with any more playing time. Like you really don't.
I think me today, what really has finally lost me confidence in Garnacho was that 3-on-2 attack. And
Yes.
he passed. Not only did he make the wrong pass, but when he made the pass, it was behind the player. Casey, like, what are you thinking as a kid there? Like, you've just made a horrible pass, and it's a 3-on-2. For me, that should have been a goal. It should. You go out to the right to Bruno, and then you've got two guys in the middle, because obviously if you go out to the right, the defender's got to run with Bruno, right? He can't just drop back, because then he's going to allow Bruno to take a shot. So he's got to break down the ball, which leaves two players open in the middle of the box. How do you make a decision like that?
I mean, it goes back what GARNACHO's one of his biggest problems, and that's reading of the game, being more savvy. He's I don't want to say that he lacks. You know, it's gonna make me feel like I'm saying I'm calling him dumb, but his game awareness is still an issue. You know, we've all complained that, you know, GARNACHO's not making good decisions. That's why I've said he'd probably be suited as just put him as a center forward in Erasmus, because you put him at that 10, that's a crucial position. You have to be able to read the game, and you have to be able to have the ability to adjust to certain situations. And I think he's just too head down, let me go, do my thing, shove everybody up to Cristiano. I'm not saying that's what he's thinking about, but that's how it comes off. So, GARNACHO's, it's a shame that we have to rely on him so much, because he needs a lot of development. I think he's getting in a situation where we're playing him so much he's not developing. And there's a lot of game situations that he's blowing and not taking advantage of it. It's just causing frustration. It's got to be causing frustration for his teammates, too, because they're out there with him. Yeah, we are frustrated because we're watching it. But guys on that 3-2 break have got to be like, come on, Carno, you got to read this better.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So
when
it's
I
got to be
played as a
frustrating.
kid, yeah, when I played,
But then we call him a kid. But
no, I was
third
actually,
year.
I was. For me though,
This is his third year with the first team.
no, I wasn't calling him a kid. I was saying when I was a kid, when I played, I had a coach that was. He's had such a brilliant idea. What he would do is, when if you hurt your neck at the doctor, he would put a neck brace on us and make us dribble the ball. Because what it does is it forces you to look ahead and look at it while you're learning ball control with your feet. Garnacho runs like this. And it shows when he loses the ball because he's not concentrating on awareness of the field, not concentrating on awareness of where his nearest defender is. And it can show, because he runs and his head's down, and it shows why his dribbling rate is so low. His take-ons is so low compared to most people. But one of the good things for me coming into next year is if we can get a decent amount of players, right? If we can get 4 players next season, I know we're not going to go spend 100 million, but we are going to get. I honestly believe we're going to get four players next year. They'll probably be 25, 30, 40 million dollar players. I think we'll get 4. I hope they're more experienced and not 18, 19-year-old kids, because we really need to start looking at something that we used to do in the 90s compared to what we do now, and the 2000s compared to what we do now. You touched on it perfectly, Casey. We play these kids too much. If we can get some first-team players in that, who are like Cunha, I hope I'm saying it right, Mikey. If we can get players in like that who are going to play, and it's going to allow those people like Garnacho to come up and progress by learning the training field, not playing too much, having these players burnt out. Because this isn't the only guy that's burnt out, right? He's not the only guy that's come out from our academy. We're doing it with Manu. We did it with Garnacho. We've done it in the past. And I really like what Amrim's doing with Cheeto. Not playing him too much. I'm on the bench, letting him learn, even though we're struggling to score. Ronaldo, you're back. Do you agree with that, with people coming in next year and that are more senior and allowing these young kids to learn from them and come off the bench less?
In a way, yes, but I also want to think about the future too, and buy right too. Just don't want to buy an older guy for the sake of it. But we definitely need people who are more sure of themselves and they're playing. Part of that breakaway with Garnacho not passing the ball to Bruno as early as he should. I mean, part of it is ball knowledge too, and knowing that if I pass that to Bruno early, I could get in the box on the far post, and 5 times out of 10, Bruno might hit me with a pass and I'll score.
Yeah.
So don't hold the ball, pass and run. And the next part of it too, could he get that ball in to Bruno? That's a crossfield pass. Does Garnacho have that in his locker? I don't think passing is his strong suit too.
Well, the
he might
breakaway
even have
had,
RASMUS
on the break. That was an easy pass, Bruno.
To RASMUS?
But no, I'm saying RASMUS was on the left, Bruno was on the right, and Garnacho was in the middle, right? So if you pass the ball to Bruno, that defender has to go after Bruno, which allows 2 of our players to be in the box wide open. And we know Bruno's going to get one of them the ball. That's why, for me, it was such a bad mistake to go to RASMUS and not to go to Bruno. Because any defender is taught you have to go to the ball. And for that defender to drop back and then say mark RASMUS or try and mark Garnacho after the ball is played to Bruno allows Bruno on the edge of the box or inside the box to take a free shot.
Yeah.
So he has to go after the guy, the defender, the guy with the ball. So it was such a bad, like, it's football 101, and he fouled with that today. So.
Yeah, I would like it. And so that's part of the problem, bad decisions and maybe not even having the passes in his locker to unlock like a pass like that.
Yeah.
And trusting his men and trusting that he could potentially get the ball back if he puts himself in the right position. We have a few options out there for 10s. I think Tricky looked good today. Trick, right place at the right time to score, and he was spraying the balls around too. Hey yo. But we need 10s like that. Creative guys guys who are not afraid to pass and who are capable of passing. And
apparently he's in Manchester United's plans for
the Leon one. Yeah. Apparently.
Cherokee.
Yeah.
And apparently he's available on the cheap, 20 million.
Yes. Yeah, that's
Who?
Ryan Cherky from Lyon. The guy who scored the equalizer.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was just saying, maybe Garnacho doesn't have the 10 in his luck. I think there are systems where he could definitely play more common ones with him playing on the wing, holding the line better. But yeah, next thing too, he's 19, so and
But the more
throughout his career, did he have to pass throughout his career too? He's always kind of been like the guy, the run and gunner. So it's something he's gonna have to learn. Like, do we want to learn with us? Do we loan him? Do we sell him?
For me, the
Sean
more
said
and
something
more
interesting.
Garnacho plays this season, more and more I'm happy to let go.
Yeah.
Because I am more like we're as much as what we're building, there's plenty of people in the academy who we can train over the next few years. Why we have some decent starters, you know what I mean? We can get good money for Garnacho this year, 50 million. He's just playing himself into a lower transfer right now. But 50 million, I would take in a heartbeat for Garnacho. 1 goal since November. I think he's still living off that, that goal from last season against Everton, to be honest with you. So
I agree with Ronaldo. The passing that there was another 3-on-2 where Xerxes did an overlapping run behind him.
Yeah.
He came across. He should have slid the ball to Xerxes because everybody was shifting over to Bruno.
Mhm.
He decides to pass to Bruno, but doesn't have the technical awareness. And this is something you learn when you're younger. If a player stops running and is standing still, give the ball to his feet.
Yeah.
Instead, he gives a terribly weighted lead pass to Bruno,
Who's not running?
Who's not running.
Yeah.
Fast behind him, I think. Yeah.
Right. And we talk about Garnacho and being young, and these guys play since they're young in really good academies, youth academies that teach you the basics as you're growing up. It might be a degree of selfishness there that he's just not willing to give up.
Yeah.
I'm with you, Sean. Sell him. Make what
It's a
you
shame because
can.
he looked promising, and over the last year and a half, he's just gone away. What's your thoughts, Casey? Would you be open for 50 million this year? Just let him go and say,
Most definitely.
Yeah.
And I hate to say it that with that much enthusiasm, he just doesn't fit the position we need him to play. He plays too much with his head down. He passes too much with his head down. So if we could get a 50 for him, I hate to give up an academy prospect, but we could find someone with that money to suit our needs a lot better. And Garnacho will probably flourish in a different system. It might be a win-win for both parties. So
it's
he's
not
not
just 50
flourishing with
million.
us.
Remember that. It's not 50 million. He's an academy player. A lot more
Yeah,
than 50 million.
and then if you spread that over 3 years, you go do more with that than anything. So he's got to be frustrated too, because he's not producing. He knows he's messing up. If they're watching film and he's looking at the games, he's got to see moments where he made mistakes. So hey, he sold his house. I don't know if that means he's looking for a bigger house, but maybe he feels like it might be the end of his days there. Life happens. Sometimes, you're not destined to be with everybody for the rest of your life. Sometimes you got to move on and grow and find different pastures. So I think it'll be a win-win for both parties. And I'm not saying that to give up on the kid. I want the best for him, but for this system, he's not growing, and the team's not going to grow with him.
I agree with like that selling of the house is can be called coincidental, but with the fact there's only 40 days left in the Premier League, I don't believe in coincidences like that. Like there's 40 days left in this Premier League. We finish on May the 25th. And then what? 5 days later, the transfer window opens. Like, yeah, it's not. I don't believe in coincidence. You're not selling a house because it's too big for you, especially when you're like that sort of player. I do see him moving on in the summer. I think United need a damn good clear out and bring in 4 or 5 good players, and then rely on some of the academy players to come off the bench. That's for me next season. But last thing I kind of want to touch on is I can bring it up. We have our second sponsor, RedDevilThreads.com, a subscription service TV, app TV t-shirts. I've got a t-shirt on the way, so once that's here, I'll show you guys kind of the product that they're putting out. Out of Manchester, only Manchester United t-shirts. Go to RedDevilThreads.com. Use the discount code StateSideReds for 10% off all t-shirts. That will help out. Also, we will be back for a Monday show with Mikey. Maybe Mikey has calmed down a little bit on Mason Mount by then. Mr. Green, we'll be working with you a little bit more. Maybe getting your own show set up some point. And then Tuesday we got those casual Reds. I'll be back on Tuesday. Sorry I missed it this week, guys. I was over in Philly, checking out some of the Rocky Balboa areas. I got to visit where he got to jump over the little bench. Some of the other things over there. One of the restaurants that was there.
Did you really go look at that bench?
No, it was right next to where I was staying, so I went to the park area. No, but like Rocky series is one of my favorites of all time, dude. I love the Rocky series. No, people hate it, dude. When I run to the Rocky 4 soundtrack. You get like that training montage gets me going, man. It gets me going. Like everyone has their movies. I love the Blues Brothers too. Brian says, highly doubtful. What are you referring to there, Brian? I know we might have missed it. What are you saying referring to? Highly doubtful too, but we'll just have this last comment and then we'll touch everyone on. If he plays bad, he's saying highly doubtful to Mikey. If he plays bad like today, I won't be over it. Getting stronger. I think we're gonna be stronger next year. I think we're gonna be stronger. I'm still sticking to my guns. I still think we finish top 5 next year. I still think it. Like honestly, guys,
let's see how we do on the window. We don't have the team right now to do it.
You're right. So if we have a decent window, I'm not saying an amazing window. Go and get Osman and Cunha and all of these other players. If we can get like Acuna and because you look, Delap's went down today, 30 million. I don't know if it was today or yesterday or whatever, but he's gone down to 30 million. And let's not forget, right? I've done a lot more looking into Delap. This guy's got 10 goals this year, and he's doing it all himself. Imagine what he could do with like Acuna and Bruno either side of him, or Manu or somebody else, feeding him the ball. I'd pick him up for 30 million.
That the price makes you want to jump at it. I guess we have to say he looks better than Rasmus. I think so. Body of work.
Yeah, that's not hard right now.
Yeah. But like I said, I'd rather. I'd
rather somebody else. I would.
Yeah, I'd rather Osman and Jerky, Dibbling if Southampton, come up for whatever meds they're on. That's 40 million, nothing more.
Yeah.
A Dibbling guy. He's highly touted and everything, but you can't. 100 million. You're insane.
Yeah, no.
50 million is pushing it.
Yeah, I think 35 is pushing it for a young player like that. Like, he's not Wharton, I think Wharton's gonna if you look at Declan Rice, if Declan Rice went for 100, if Palace can keep hold of Wharton for the next couple of years, I think Wharton goes for 80 million.
He goes to 80 million. Oh, it might be 100. Might be 100 next year.
Yeah, he's ranked I think he's ranked number 1 for CDMs in through balls and progression.
Yeah.
Across all 5 leagues. Not in the Premier League, all 5 leagues. Insane what he's doing. And I think he's still 19. He's going to turn into a great player. It's not someone that Man United could afford. And even if we could afford him, just, it blows the budget. But all right, guys, anything else you guys want to add before the end? No?
As Court said, people make mistakes. Let's just keep our head. Just keep our head, I guess, sober. Enough is enough and everything, but I think it's important for the players and the fans just rally for Thursday. We're still in the game. It's as disastrous as today was. It was 2-2. You can still win. So
And that's my
Nah,
biggest concern is
a
hoping
move.
that everybody can just wash the stink off.
Yeah,
You
and
know,
I don't want it to get really bad with Newcastle. I mean, you know, I wouldn't mind a loss wouldn't be the worst thing, but just the manner of losing,
Yeah.
I think would be important. Hopefully, you know, it doesn't kill too much
Casey,
morale for Thursday. That matters. I mean, if
It
you go
does
and
matter.
collect 5, if you go up there and collect 5, that's not good. That's not good for Thursday prep. I mean, it might wake him up and motivate him, or you know, it just might pile on like sometimes it tends to do. And you know, with that pressure, we just play bad, we make more mistakes. We habitually make the wrong decisions, guys, in attack.
Yeah.
And it's been on MO for a few seasons. We just make the wrong decisions, like 8 times out of 10, and just a lot of our attacks today, and at the critical moment, the wrong pass, wrong weighted pass, bad technique, bad decision. Maybe that's how we are. I don't know. Hopefully, something we can shed because we have to win Thursday.
Yeah. One last thing for me. A couple of weeks ago, we said to Casey, Mason Mount scores, I want an apology.
No, you said in the next 2 games.
Next 2 games, I said I wanted an apology, right?
That was like 3 games ago.
I'm just bringing it. Yeah, I'm bringing. No, I'm not saying that to you. I'm about to say something else here. Don't worry, Mikey. If Mason Mount scores in the next 2 games,
Yeah, put it on Mikey now.
I want an apology because he's put in Mason Mount masterclass versus Newcastle. Nobody said a word when you said that. Want an apology if Mason Mount scores.
I don't know. Why did he flip on Mason Mount so hard?
He's saying he's not. He didn't. He still thinks there's a player there. It's because I said because we're all saying Mason Mount had a decent game today. Mikey asked. It's opposite day, I guess, with Mikey. So he turned into cheese today for some reason. But everybody else.
What? If he stays healthier for the rest of the season, he's going to make an impact on the season.
Yep.
On the rest of the season. If he doesn't miss a game, Mason Mount will win everybody over.
Yeah. All right, but everybody, we'll see you on Monday. Peace out, and hope Man United win on Sunday. So, real quick, and it's gonna be real quick. Casey, score prediction Sunday.
Oh God. I don't want to ever say we lose. 2-2.
2-2. Jeez. No cheese.
2-1.
Ronaldo.
2-1. 2-1 Magpies. They're about their business and they're better than us.
Yep. Mr. Green.
Are we away from home?
Yeah.
Yeah, we are.
3-1 Newcastle.
St. James's.
I'm actually gonna,
that's not crazy, Casey.
I'm actually gonna go with Brian here. Me and Brian are gonna go with a 2-0. Wait, you going 2-0 United? Because you got 0-2 there, Brian. That United are playing away, so
that means United loses 0-2.
Yeah, where I'm from, that's United. Mikey's going 2-1 United win.
You're supposed to put your home team first. And
but we're not home. We're away. So that's why I'm asking if he's saying 0-2. If he put 0-2, that would be an away win, which would be Man United. 2-0 Newcastle. There we go. Yeah, I'm going with you there, Brian. I'm going to go with 2-0 United. 2-0 Newcastle. But
you guys are all pagans.
it just depends. Newcastle are a good squad. They got a good team. They're fighting for Champions League, and for me, I just think we should rest players. So I don't think we should be putting anyone out there that could possibly get hurt and ruin our chances for Thursday, because I think winning the Europa League is a big must for Manchester United this year. It could make a break. Not if. It could
the whole
make or break us financially. So, transfer window and all. But everybody else, we'll peace out. We'll see you on Monday. Thank you guys. And we'll get you guys on next show. Peace out.
All right.